Well, today is the day after the Jihad attack on November 13th in Paris, France. And although it's early, I would like to talk to you about the same characters who do the same things in every Jihad attack. I call it the politically correct version of Jihad. So let's see what's being talked about. First, it was very ironic that early Friday, Obama had said that we had contained Islamic State, and that Kerry said, our Secretary of State said, that Islamic State's days were numbered. Well, not so numbered at all. On July 15th, Islamic State had predicted that the streets of Paris will run with blood. I've studied Islamic State, Al-Qaeda, and the Muslim Brotherhood for some time, and I have an enormous respect for their strategic planning ability. If Al-Qaeda, Islamic State, and the Muslim Brotherhood say something's going to happen, it will happen, just as it did in Paris. Now, you might think that after an outrageous jihad event like this, that Merkel, who's been bringing in Syrian refugees by the tens of thousands, you would think that this might give her pause. And indeed, Ms. Merkel has spoken to us, and she said that Europeans need to manifest their values and be tolerant. Tolerant of what, Ms. Merkel? Rape, welfare, jihad, mass murder attacks. But anyway, we're supposed to be tolerant. Now, here in America, we don't use words like jihad because those are considered offensive. So as a result, when Obama makes a statement about what the world is going to do, he talks about terrorism and terror networks. Mr. Obama, you should be talking about jihad and jihadi networks. Now, it's also predictable that those who are left of center will start talking about those who are right of center and blame the whole event on them. And sure enough, Salon magazine has started blaming the conservatives or the far right. There's never right, it's just far right, and their abrasive language. So I guess people such as myself are the ones who caused the Paris attacks. I don't think so. The Guardian has said, well, now Muslims in Paris are going to have to start worrying because people are going to look at them like, well, they're associated with terror or something. What Muslims should be worried about is not being associated with terror, but being associated with jihad. The Guardian has also said that extreme far right will use this message to crank up their politics, and that worse will happen because of, I guess, not the Muslim jihadists, but because of those who talk about the doctrine of jihad. Religious leaders in America will talk about the religion of peace and how they know Muslims and how we're all members of the same family of Abraham. In America, the professors will still teach the jihad-free Islam in the universities. The press will do nothing to offend Muslims. The police will not study the doctrine of jihad. And politicians will cry out, we need more and more Muslim refugees. Nothing will change. Life is just going to keep on going on like it is, and Friday the 13th in Paris will just disappear into the rearview mirror. I have a prediction to make. Let's see if this happens. By Monday, the police will be announcing to the world that they need to put more police down at the mosque because you see there will be blowback and we don't want Muslims to get hurt. The language that we need is not the language of the left or the language of the right. What we need is the language of Islam, the language found in the Quran, the Sirah, and the Hadith. That is the language we need. If we're going to seek understanding of what happens in mass murder such as this, we need to study the doctrine of jihad. Because Muhammad was a jihadist, and he laid out exactly what is to happen in jihad. And what has happened in Paris, France, is exactly what should be happening in jihad. The kafir, the non-Muslim, shall be brought to fear Islam, and therefore yield to its Sharia demands. When it comes to language, what I have to say to you is, study the Quran, the Sirah, the Hadith, so that you too can adopt a precise language, so that you won't use words like terror, but instead will use words like jihad. You'll understand the concept of civilizational war, because that's what's happening in France. This is not merely a murder of a few people. This is a war against the civilization of Europe. And if we don't wake up, we will lose the war. Thank you.